It's the SKOR North Twin Show.
Little Feedback Friday edition of the SKOR North Twin Show here. We love ourselves some hot stove season, boys.
Reckless speculation.
Oh, it's juicy.
You know it. You know it. I just wish it would. I just wish we got, as we were talking about, just like 2 weeks of just intense hot stove heat, but instead it's spread out throughout the winter. Just intense.
You'd like it to be just a blazing fire for like
Inferno.
5 days, like the NFL. Yeah,
The baseball inferno. So it goes from hot stove to exactly
Speculation.
the inferno of the off season.
So there are some reckless speculation, hot stove related questions that we will get to here, but the first one is about the Twins manager Rocco Baldelli. He sent us an article here, and by the way, the best way to hit us up, there's 2 places that we pull the most feedback from: the YouTube comment section, and then the feedback tab on the SKOR North app, where you can email us any time of the week, any time of day. So Brian Mumford chimes in, says, a thoughtful article from Buster Olney on ESPN.com about Bruce Bochy, who just won his, 3rd world championship? Or 4th? 3 with the Giants.
3 with the Giants, okay.
1 with the Rangers. And then he went to 1 with the Padres. So on Bruce Bochy's management style, I hope the Twins front office takes a few notes from it. It's a great read. It's on ESPN.com. Just go to the MLB section and you can find it. I'm going to read you a little excerpt, and I want you guys to think about, Judd especially has been the most critical, I think, of Rocco Baldelli, or at least the way that
Called
the
for his
Twins
head.
front office. You did at one point call
In
for
July,
his head.
I called for his head.
Yep.
Still out there.
And now he is the most recent manager, first one in 20 years to win a playoff game. So he's sticking around. So I'm going to read this, and then you guys give me your thoughts on where you're at right now with Rocco Baldelli. When Bochy was hired by the Rangers, there was no script handed down from the front office. No dictums from the analysts upstairs. General manager Chris Young, who had played for Bochy, told him when he was hired that Young would let him manage, and that's what Bochy did all summer and through the postseason. Watch, react, and manage. During games, Diamondbacks manager Torey Lovullo said his own eyes would ping-pong from the game action down to the data sheets in front of him and back and forth as he cross-referenced what's in front of him with the statistics that sometimes serve as a backbone for decisions. Bochy, by contrast, on the other side of the field, often sits with his arms folded, appearing relaxed like a parent taking in a t-ball game, seemingly never taking his eyes off the players on the field and what they're doing. Quote, I can't multitask, Bochy said. I've got to just watch the game. Like Lovullo, Bochy has access to enormous stores of data, and there's information laid out in front of him during the game, the loose framework of the pregame pitching plan, and some specific details about matchups. But Bochy will lean forward once in a while and glance at those things, but mostly he watches before reacting to what he sees.
Oh.
That's the best manager in the last 20 years of baseball, I would say.
Yep. And now the question becomes, of course, if you were to tell Rocco tomorrow, okay, dude, we just read this thing. We came across this thing on the website that you found it on, and we
ESPN,
are going to allow
ESPN.com.
On ESPN.com, and we're going to allow you to manage like that. We're going to allow you what would happen, because yes, he is an outstanding manager, but the question is, he's also incredibly probably intuitive and has a feel for things. How many of the actual managers today, who by the way have been hired, probably knowing exactly what the parameters were going to be, how many of those guys have that same type of feel? So it's a really interesting question, because I certainly wouldn't trust, I wouldn't say we're going with the Bochy plan and I'm going to turn my guy loose for sure. It gets into a really interesting discussion about what you would do and who is the right guy or who are the right people to have those jobs.
See, I actually think if you told Rocco, hey man, we're going to really limit the amount of information that you even have access to during this game. We have information and we can take it in pregame and stuff, but we want to clear your head during a game, and we want you to go you got your bank of knowledge in your brain, but generally we want you to just kind of go with what you're seeing and feeling out there. I think he would actually do pretty well, because he played enough baseball. He's been around, he played, 8-10 years. He was sort of injury plagued. But what I find interesting on a macro level here is across all of baseball, for 100+ years, baseball managers mostly managed with their gut, right? There's always information, and there's always been lefty-righty splits and different things, right? But for a century plus in baseball, we didn't have access to TrackMan data and to
Right.
spin
We had access
rates
to
and
certain
all
things,
this stuff.
but not
Yep.
this much.
Yep,
Absolutely.
and all this stuff. Like there's so much information in the last 20 years that's come in.
Right.
So somewhere along the line, baseball organizations said, hey, the way that we've been doing it, like one team starts here, the Oakland A's, and then the Red Sox, and then other teams, like the way we've been doing it is not the best way to do it. We need more information. Let's make decisions based on information that's like, we're going to basically map this out before the game starts. And then some teams started having success that way. I feel like we've reached a point now where we've gone too far in that direction, where you've got Blue Jays manager pulling Jose Barrios out of a game and that he's lights out. Does Bochy pull Barrios in that situation? Boy, this guy is effing cruising right now in a playoff game. Let's bring the parade of relievers in starting 45 minutes into the game, right?
When Snell got yanked for the Rays while pitching that World Series game, and he had been magnificent. Absolutely. But so here's my question though, is like, if you're going to do that, which I have zero problem with, I'm probably going to go with a guy like Molitor, who to me has a phenomenal feel for things and has a recall that is just beyond freaky than I am a Baldelli, who I think was hired in large part because he would go along with the plan. Like it would be, if you took the net away from a guy like Baldelli, and there's a lot of them, so it's not just him, but if you took the safety net of all of the information and, like, to your point, Phil, the 2 o'clock planning, some of them would definitely adapt and succeed, and some would just be awful. So I think I would probably defer more to guys who I know for a fact have that feel. And Molitor is one of the most incredible I've seen.
And one last thing on this, and I want Declan to chime in here too, but like, I think if you were to ask baseball fans, right or wrong, does Bruce Bochy have a positive impact on the Rangers winning the World Series? Or ask it this way, do the Rangers win the World Series without Bruce Bochy? I think most people would say, no, they needed Bruce Bochy to win the World Series. Just like the Giants needed Bruce Bochy. It wasn't just a random occurrence that they won 3 World Series, it was every other year. So it was a 5-year stretch, 3 World Series. And maybe that's wrong. Maybe there's 50 other managers that could have come in and managed that Giants team and that Rangers team. I do think Bochy has a huge impact on it. But if you were to ask people in baseball or Twins fans, did the Twins need Rocco Baldelli to win their first playoff game, to win their first playoff series? I don't know that people would have resoundingly said yes. Does that make sense?
It does, because in part, we don't know, to this day, we don't know exactly what Rocco's role is. Like, Bochy's in charge. There's no question about it.
It feels very attached to the front office.
Yeah,
right?
so
That's
like we don't know, like it feels like Rocco was hired for the specific reason that the front office knew that they could tell him what they want and he will follow through, and very rarely, if ever, sell them out, right? Like Bochy, you watch, he's in charge. And so when things go wrong, he fixes it or he tries to fix it. So I agree completely. Dex, sorry, go ahead.
The obviously, like, the no bleep answer here is the best managers obviously take the information of the data and they take their gut feel and they marry everything together and they put it in a stew and they hopefully cook up a win over 9 innings. And in the Blue Jays series, like, did they have a backup plan if Pablo Lopez was going to get rocked early? Like, Pablo Lopez shoved. He was looking great. The Blue Jays said with Jose Barrios, we already know his splits the second time through the order are crap. So no matter what, even though he's cruising through this lineup 1 through 9, nope, we're good, we're done, and we're going to be out of here. And then in the Astros series, Joe Ryan gives up the 1 home run, but mostly looks pretty good. But they said, nope, we're sticking to the plan. This is a bullpen game. We already had this executed, laid out. So I think more information is mostly a good thing in baseball, but at the same time, you need to make your own gut decision. You can't just live and die by a spreadsheet and by numbers.
Yeah, it's like there are some times in those Rangers games where like Jordan Montgomery would have a bunch of runners on base or something, and it's like second or third time through the order, and Bochy's just letting him work out of it. And I do think because ultimately your goal as a manager is to get a group of 26 players to play as close to their peak capability as possible. And I think part of that is trusting them. And when you tell a pitcher like Jose Barrios, or this happened to Barrios a few years ago with the Twins too, right? We don't trust you to keep pitching. Mm-hmm. That's a powerful message. I think teams have to be aware of that.
And what does that send? What type of message does that send not only to Barrios, but the entire team, right? Like when you know that your manager has the title and he's got some power, but you don't know exactly how much, I think it makes it tough. But the thing with Texas, too, that probably does not get talked about enough that's really impressive is Chris Young, their chief executive, is incredibly smart. Like he pitched in the bigs forever. And I think he went to work for MLB before he got the Texas job. But like he is incredibly smart. And he's not only smart, but he also has the advantage of having been in the game as a player.
Yeah.
So like there's something to be said for, and this is where Royce rebels, and he's not entirely wrong. There's something to be said for when a lot of academics think that they can basically scheme the game. Like Theo Epstein can, because he was the rare guy who was, I mean, he was just, he had the golden touch.
Yeah.
But the copying of the Theo Epstein plan with a bunch of guys who played Ivy League baseball, I don't think it works across the board, because you're just now you're just infiltrating the game with people who are like, oh, if Epstein did that, I'll do this and blah, blah, blah. And so I think the hires should probably be more nuanced and more open to thinking about things before you decide that like one specific way is the way to go.
Wouldn't it be fascinating to see, okay, let's take an organization and give them enough talent. It can't just be a team that has no talent, but give an organization a bunch of talent and have them manage and operate with as little information as possible. Like throw it back 30 or 40 years where you're just kind of out there and you're more bare bones in the amount of data, analytics, information. I'm not saying that's the optimal way to do it, but I would be curious to see, would that team be a lot worse? Like, oh man, you can notice a team that's navigating this flight without any sort of, they're not talking to the tower. They're just like trying to fly a plane blind here. Would they only win 75 games and they would win 90 if they had all the information? Like I'd be curious to see what that looks like, I guess.
So the story I saw yesterday is that small ball is coming back now.
Yeah, dude, we've talked about this on our
like
show.
We're going back to small ball. So like it is
making
and
contact.
flowing.
Yeah, making contact is like this. Like, wow, it's strike, an out's an out. Okay, well, an out's an out, but a batted ball versus an automatic out is not the same thing. So if I'm going to put 3 extra balls in play in a game, like that type of stuff, I do hope some of that stuff comes back around now that it's a little easier to steal bases again, right? Because pitchers can't throw over 100 times. Like,
the bases are bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Is that there's more a real reason for why?
Like there's more base there.
I think it contributes. I would, on the pie chart, it's the less of pickoff attempts that definitely lead to the more.
But it helps you out.
But yeah, it definitely helps.
How much bigger are the bases?
Is it like
some weight?
I think it's like is it 15 or like?
I'd
10?
have to go back and look, but it was definitely attributed as
I'll look that up.
People make it sound like it's like a flying saucer over there, and you can like lead. You're like leading off and touching second base.
These are professional athletes. Every little thing helps. But anyway, it's interesting because if we had this discussion, hey, bring back small ball in 2019, it got immediately poo-pooed, right? Oh, that's great. Oh no, small ball sucks. So,
but
yeah,
interesting.
They're 20% bigger, so they were 15 inches, and now they're 18 inches.
Okay, and that's on both sides. So you're getting an extra 6 inches, right? Like you're 3 inches closer to second base, and then you're 3 inches closer on the other side. So it's like, okay.
And your lead
might be the difference
because of the pickoff rules has changed. So, but yeah, I mean, but I prefer that. Like I am all for action. Give me action.
Razorbacks One chimes in, says Phil's love for Lucas Giolito matches how excited he was for Joey Gallo last winter.
Oh, this is
tough for me to
between
fight
Phil
this.
and Declan.
No, I mean, it's not personal between me and Declan.
It's very personal because Declan said Joey Gallo sucks, and you said, "Oh, I love Joey Gallo," and then it just took off from there.
And it turns out that he sucks. So I guess Declan was right. Devin Purdy says, that's right. I mean, he wasn't like, he was better than he was.
Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking
done.
around.
Look
I was
what you've
just
done.
joking, okay? I was just joking.
He was great in April. Devin Purdy says, let's get this straight. According to Statista, in 2022, the Pohlad family under Jim Pohlad were worth just under $4 billion, tied with the Tigers ownership and the Yankees ownership. It's funny that Phil has offered the Pohlads an out for substantial payroll deduction and blame it on a TV contract. These guys think the fans are stupid. They actually believe the Pohlads are losing money. He spells it Loosing, losing money, but it's losing money.
Well, and I'm the one that said because of the TV, the short-term pain of the TV contract decreasing isn't a reason to slash the payroll as much as I think they're going to. So yeah, I think your only point has been they're not going to dip into the family coffers necessarily.
It's the net worth thing that it sucks because I don't come on this show and I don't wake up in the morning and say, you know what I want to do today? Defend billionaires. Yeah, that's going to be great. I'm going to defend the Pohlads today. But like sports owners operate within the structure of the business, not within the structure of their net worth.
Right.
And in all other leagues with salary caps, like NFL, Major League Baseball, or NBA and NHL, not Major League Baseball, they are prevented from losing money based on the salary cap. So like the Vikings every year, they're going to spend up to the salary cap and guaranteed bank like $200 million in profits, right? Now, if the NFL took out the salary cap, owners would be faced with some difficult decisions of, okay,
Green Bay would move, dude.
Well, Green Bay would be screwed, and
then Buffalo would move to Toronto.
Yeah. So like so this is all I'm saying. Okay, I guess it sounds like I'm defending billionaires, and maybe I am. I'm just presenting logic. The Yankees brought in, according to Forbes, this is 2022 season is the last information available. The Yankees brought in $650 million. The Twins brought in $260 million. So the Yankees brought in $400 million more dollars than the Twins did in revenue in 2022. And that's why their payroll is a lot higher. So you're saying, based on Devin's research, both owners have the same net worth. But the businesses they're running, Yankees and Twins, the Yankees bring in almost 3 times as much revenue as the Twins. That's why their payroll's higher. The Yankees owner isn't dipping into net worth. Is it still the Steinbrenner family? They're not dipping into net worth to pay for the Yankees. So I guess like if there's a cry for, hey, Pohlads, please just dip into, and by the way, according to this, they did actually lose money in 2022. Boo-hoo, I'm sure they'll be fine. But it's when people say this owner is worth $4 billion, this owner is worth $4 billion. Okay, but like they're not. Neither one of them is looking to take a business loss, and so I try to operate within the reality of, okay, they're not going to spend on the level of these other teams. Like let's talk about the team through that reality.
Yeah, but this is a case where I don't think it's a good excuse to drop your payroll significantly.
Sure.
Like I'll go back to this. The Metrodome created some huge problems. All right, they didn't draw. It was indoors, but with the situation that they currently reside right now, I think potentially dropping your payroll from $156 million to $125. I think that is way too drastic for, again, a problem that you all need to solve in baseball too. This is a baseball-wide problem, but it is not a reason to cry poverty.
Yep.
The Metrodome actually was a reason to cry poverty.
I don't disagree with you there. Doc R says, Mackie and Judd feeling sorry for billionaires. What dummies. I like how you're being lumped into my commentary. Engleby says, Phil will always protect the billionaire and crap on the fans for getting upset over it.
Let it be known, by the way, of the 3 members on this show, I'm the only one who has been laid off by a Pohlad family member. Okay, I just want that. I've had nothing but defense of. Okay, I've had nothing but defense of the Pohlads. I love the Pohlads. No, the whole thing to me is very bizarre. I'm with Judd that this is also a big Major League Baseball issue with streaming, and too, like, yes, they're losing what, 50 some million or so because they don't have a TV plan that's in place for next year where they can get this chunk of revenue. These owners too, like, aren't going to just completely reach into their back pockets like we've explained and tank their own or take a huge net worth loss just because they want to go sign Sonny Gray to a $70 million contract. Like, it's much more complicated than that.
And also, like, here's the thing. All right, again, like, okay, I'm defending billionaires, whatever, but the Twins spent more money on their 2023 team than any team in Twins in Target Field history. Attendance was still half of what it was in 2010 and 2011. So if you're running this business, you're saying, well, okay, we just spent a lot of money. We actually took a loss because we want to put a good product on the field. And attendance went up a little bit from the year before, but, like, dude, attendance was almost 3.5 million a decade ago. It was under 2 million last year. So I think the best thing that this is what's tough. The best thing ownership can do is keep committing. Hey, look at that. Look at the fun at the end of the season.
Excitement.
Don't bring your payroll down. Keep committing. The fans will come back. But from a fan standpoint, like, or if you look on the owner side of things, they're saying, well, wait a second, we just spent $155 million and you guys, like, barely showed up to the ballpark until the last week in September in the playoffs. So it's like, but I agree with you. A teardown of 155 to 120 or 125 looks really bad. And it would just be a horrible time while you're owning this division. You've got Royce Lewis. Like, you should be pushing forward to try and win a championship. And that's where I will 100% criticize the poll ads, is going back, especially under the Jim poll ad. We'll see what Joe has been in operation for like a year now, but they've always felt like the Wilfs want to win a championship for the most part. Sometimes they go about it in a weird way, or they get comfortable with mediocrity, right? But they are super fans and want to win a championship. Craig Leopold is pounding his program, right? Glenn Taylor is a bumbling buffoon. He's courtside, with his little sweaters. And it's like, sometimes you don't even know, like, the poll ads are like, they barely talk publicly. They're just kind of like, you kind of wonder, like, is there a fire there as a family? So I do agree from that standpoint.
If I was a consultant, which I probably would be good at for them, I would tell them two things. One is, look, you people are about to probably have to, and this is not a bad thing, again, long term. You're going to have to go at this alone from a streaming standpoint. Like we don't know, you're not going back to Bally's. And like the RSN phase of the 90s and 2000s is gone. So you're probably going to have to find a way in conjunction with MLB to stream your games. Do you really want to drop your payroll when you're going to be asking, forget the fans in the stands at Target Field, when you're going to be asking people to subscribe? It's going to have to be some type of.
Hey, we slashed our payroll. Yeah. And we need $25 a month from you to watch
Sonny
Twins
Gray,
games.
F him, he's gone. Now subscribe. The other thing though is, and this is where baseball needs to sit down. The owners do, and I know that it would not be popular, and I know it would be a scream match, and I don't care. But if I was a consultant, I would say we need to get everyone who owns teams together, and with what's going on right now, which is what, Phil, 14 teams with Bally problems, we need to start sharing the internal television revenue, not just the Fox, not just the ESPN. When we're talking Yankees, Mets, we need to find a way to share more, because we want to keep teams as competitive as possible. And right now, for at least right now, the landscape of distribution is changing completely. Baseball needs to get its act together and tell Hal Steinbrenner and Steve Cohen, hey guys, you know what? Too bad. You're in a major metropolis. Your TV rights go for way more, or at least you bring in way more. The Pirates and the Twins and the Royals and the Guardians, we need to find a way to share that.
So
they will get really mad and tell me to F off, but I don't care. I'm a consultant.
Well, but here's the thing. So yeah, like the biggest team, like call them the 5 or 6 biggest teams that bring in more revenue, that have, some of them have their own TV networks, right? Like the Yes Network. Could there be a scenario, and there might be major holes in this because I'm just spitballing this on the fly. Could there be a scenario where you take your, what's the MLB ticket, right? What's their
extra innings
package? Innings. So the extra innings is their national streaming platform where you can watch games, but you get blacked out locally, right? Could there be a scenario where they say, all right, extra innings is going to be, we're going to blow it up, Like, we're going to make it bigger. We're going to remove local blackout restrictions in every market except for the ones that want to, like, if you're the Yankees and you have your own network, right? Maybe there's 5 or 6 deals or 8 deals where those local games are
like
still
the
blacked
Cubs
out. Yep.
with Marquee.
Yep.
They've got their own network.
But if you're on an island now and you don't have a TV deal,
Yep.
boom, you're part of extra innings. A fan in Missouri or a fan in California or a fan in Maple Grove, Minnesota, they can all watch Twins games for a monthly fee. And all of that money gets split evenly among the teams that are in it. Something like that, right?
Yes.
Because I don't think you're going to get the Yankees to like ditch the Yes Network to jump onto something with the Tampa Bay Rays and split revenue equally. You know, like that's almost never going to happen.
Right. But this is the ideal time to redo the system. That's my point. This is the ideal time when you've got, you know, basically half your league now is in flux with something that didn't pay each team the same, but was a known. Because like the problem here for the Twins is, oh my God, where are they going to get this back from?
Yep.
So like, and this would clear up the cheap poll ads or cheap, I don't know what else, pirates, because what this would do, and this is a fight worth their time in fighting. This would now give you a set amount again in which to spend, because Phil, to your point, if you have that, and this is where I think fans are wrong, teams don't ordinarily, at least I don't think, pocket that. It's not like, oh, we got an extra, you know, oh, we made this extra money from TV. Here, I'll put this in my shirt. Some do, but you also could come up with rules about spending as well. That's my point is the players are never going to agree in this game to a salary cap, which is why I want all of the pain to go back to the people that own the teams, where they're responsible for some type of revenue source that's big enough for everybody to dip into that pie and compete. They're closer than they used to be, but this RSN situation really, I think, opens up the floodgates to make some positive steps for what we consider to be the small revenue teams.
Yeah. One more here, and then we'll get to our Immaculate Grid. Several people are asking this week, like I saw 10 of these questions. You know, hey, we're looking for ways to creatively, you know, shed some salary to make a room over here. Can't they just trade Byron Buxton, who makes $15 million a year? Dude, I don't know if you could offload that. You could trade him, but you'd have to eat so much.
He's got
of
a no
that
trade
money.
clause.
No trade clause.
And he has a no trade clause.
I mean, he'd have to sign off on a trade, which he's not going to, I don't think.
What's with the no trade
And who's
clauses
going to
in
take
this town?
I hate no trade clauses.
clause?
They give them out with, as I've always said, they give them out like damn candy. They absolutely drive me crazy. But the other thing too is, you're right. Who's going to take that? Who's going to take him?
At this
Nobody.
point, yeah, he'd have to play a season and show he can play. As of right now, you wouldn't be able to trade for him and bank on him playing outfield. You'd be trading for a DH who's like gone through another surgery. So,
do you know when things are bad? Things are bad when you read a guy had a surgery and you've never heard of that surgery before. Buxton had what was it called? Wet knee. Like, if you read the description, I've never heard of this before in my life. It wasn't like ACL reconstruction, right? MCL. It was some type of, it was like wet knee or something. And it was written like, oh yeah, he just had this. It's like, when I haven't heard of it before, it would be like the first guy to have had Tommy John. At that point in time, you're not thinking, oh, that guy's coming. You know, Tommy John, he ain't coming back. A ligament just got taken from like his wrist and stuck in his elbow.
I'm trying to find this.
I'll find it. The Star Tribune had it.
Knee surgery.
It was something wet.
About.
It was something like, it was very weird, but
It was an arthroscopic procedure to excise the plica, a membrane flap in his right knee.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, none of this sounds normal to me.
Yeah, it's not your classic, oh, he just went in for like a cleanup surgery or something.
It used to be
it's
that.
Okay. If we can find that word wet. Let me just see.
I'm looking right now.
Wet knee surgery. Let's see here.
Because I think the Strip wrote about it.
Look at us. This is great content right now. Us Googling. I don't know if the word wet was involved.
I thought it was. I'll find it.
Okay. You just
I'll
let
find
us
an
know.
Immaculate Grid.
Keep
Let's
talking.
do the Immaculate.
Should we do the Immaculate Grid?
You know
Sounds
what?
good to me.
This show serves everyone,
Let's do the
including the
Immaculate Grid.
doctors.
Let's do the Immaculate Grid here while Judd Googles wet knee procedure. So, oh, look at this. Heritage old franchises here.
And I'd like to have another team up there, but I do love the teams. The teams they pick.
You hate the grid all the time. We know. We get it. Okay. Keep Googling
No, I
wet knee
don't.
procedure.
I just said it's fine with it.
We're looking for a Guardian who was a Cub, a Guardian who was a Red Sox, and a Guardian who was a Dodger. And then we're looking for a Cub who won 20 games in a season pitching, and a Cub who was an All-Star, a Red Sox 20-game winner and an All-Star, a Dodger 20-game winner and an All-Star.
Mm-hmm.
How about didn't Duke was? No, I'm thinking of who's the old Don Drysdale. Didn't he win 20 for the Dodgers?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he did.
Donnie Drysdale?
I'm sure he did.
Hideo Nomo, I think, won 20 one time.
He might have won 20 as well. Arias
Fernando?
won it. Fernando might have won it.
Valenzuela. Yeah.
Didn't he win?
Arias won it, I believe, in 2021 or 2 before he got on the restricted list.
Plenty of options.
Who did?
Julio Arias.
Oh, yes.
What a terrible human being.
So I'm gonna write some names down. Fernando Valenzuela.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna put
Fernando Mania. Did
yep.
he win an MVP too, or was it just like a Cy Young? He had a magical season.
Cy Young Rookie of the Year in '80. Is that right?
Drysdale. I mean, Koufax obviously
Mm-hmm.
is in the mix there. Oral Hershiser might even be. Right? Oral Hershiser once set the record with the Dodgers for most consecutive scoreless innings. Yeah.
Beat out Don Drysdale's record. I think
Okay.
20 years after Drysdale.
Let's throw some names in there. Nomo. I think Nomo did it. Burst on
Okay.
the scene.
Okay.
We could. How about like just obscure all-stars to start with,
Yeah.
or old players that were all-stars.
Carlos Zambrano for Cubs.
Yep.
That's a good one.
I might be able to get more obscure than that actually with the Cubs. Well, Henry
1980s Cubs.
Rodriguez might. We used him one time as an Expo Cub. Henry Rodriguez in '98, I think. Rod Beck might have made an All-Star game with the Cubs in 1998. He was their closer in a playoff.
Lee
year,
Smith?
Lee Smith.
Before he went to the Cardinals.
Carlos Zambrano is a good bar, for sure.
Yeah, I'm fine with Carlos Zambrano.
Did Ryan Terrio make an All-Star game one time?
Oh boy, you're on your own. Bob Dernier? Did Bob Dernier?
Billy Williams.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah,
For sure.
I think Zambrano's going to be more obscure than Billy Williams.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's got to be other ones. The Cubs had some really weird years where like,
Oh,
not like a Ron Coomer
Bill
situation,
Madlock?
but
In the 70s, I think he made an All-Star game.
okay.
I think he hit 300. He's a good hitter.
What
But anyway,
about, so they had a double play combo back in the day. Tinkers to Evers to Chance. Was that before the All-Star game existed?
I think it was right around that time. All-Star game, if I'm not mistaken, started in 1933.
Okay, that would have been like in the.
Arch
Hack
Ward.
Wilson. Hack Wilson. Wasn't he? He was like the home run guy.
Yeah, Hack. I believe he still holds
About 100 names.
the record for RBIs in a season.
Yep. So we're going Zambrano.
Yeah, just go Zambrano. That's fine.
Okay, whatever. Who cares?
2%.
Let's go.
Nice.
All right. Obscure Red Sox options. Billy
There's
Buckner.
There's a lot of these.
Buckner.
Did Buckner make it as a Red Sox?
Oh.
I don't know.
I don't-
Names out.
Actually,
'Cause
yeah.
that
with
that
the
was
Cubs,
late in
Actually, that would
his-
have been a good Cub, right?
Uh,
That would have been a
Jerry
good Cub
Remy?
All-Star.
Tris Speaker we've used as an old Red Sox, like
The
big
the
time
late
player from
Tim
back in the day.
Wakefield, knuckleballer.
Tim Wakefield. I think he made a couple All-Star games.
He did.
He might also be a 20-win season guy.
Dwight Evans,
Yeah, if there's older
Freddie
players
Lynn,
would be
Dwight
Jim
Evans,
Rice,
Fred
Jim
Lynn,
Rice.
Jim Rice. I don't
Carl
think
Yastrzemski.
don't think Butch Hobson ever made it. Love me. Rick Burleson.
What about that? I'm thinking 90s here. Mike Greenwell?
Yes, left fielder. I don't
Wasn't
know if he made an All-Star game, but he could hit. He definitely was a good hitter. I love where your head's at right now. Love that one. Carlton Fisk.
Ooh, that's a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Pudge.
Carlton Fisk.
Pudge.
He was nicknamed Pudge.
Oh,
Pudge.
Before
Carlton
Pudge.
Fisk. Pudge.
I was thinking Yvonne.
Yvonne stole the nickname from Carlton.
Yeah, that was a bunch of crap. Give me back my nickname.
To think of other
All right,
guys.
that's
from,
a lot.
Other guys from like the Johnny Damon era.
Yeah.
They had
Pitchers
a bunch
besides
of dudes on those
Wakefield?
teams. Dude, did Bill Miller make an All-Star game? The third baseman? I mean, Pedroia, Ellsbury.
Yeah.
There's so many options. I mean, any of these. Let's go one of the older ones. Like a Freddie Lynn, Jim Rice, Judd. Pick one from that time.
Go with Carlton Fisk.
Carlton Fisk.
Yeah, go with Carlton Fisk.
2%.
2%. Okay. It's not
That's
bad.
a disservice. He's a White Sox there.
All right, for Dodgers. Well, Hideo Nomo was an All-Star.
Nomo's a good one.
Be fun to use
mean,
Nomo.
I mean, you could go back to Brooklyn, Phil.
I mean, yeah. that's
Oh,
true.
I mean, God.
Duke
Trying to think of, like,
Snyder,
Jackie Robinson teams.
Pee Wee Reese.
Pee Wee Reese, Duke
I
Snyder.
don't think
those
Billy
are good
Cox
ones.
made it. Gil Hodges, I don't think made it. Although he might have. I might be. Roy Campanella
Ooh, that's a really good one.
before he was paralyzed.
Let's do that one. Let's do Roy Campanella.
Roy.
Roy.
Roy Campanella. One time.
1%.
1%. Big time.
Campy.
He's great. Okay.
Cleveland and the Cubs, Rick Sutcliffe is a good one.
I think this is a Terry Mulholland opportunity here, too.
Oh, that 100%. That would be a great one.
Try it.
Let's do Terry Mulholland. If we can do former Twins for these, it'll be under 1%, won't it?
0.4.
0.4%.
Oh,
Let's go.
look how young Terry Mulholland.
He was an old man
He's-
with the Twins. He
he's
was a lot different
dashing.
than that.
Good looking young man right there.
Think
Cleveland
of Twins here.
and the Red Sox
Did Casey Blake play for the Red Sox?
play for the
Oh,
Dodgers.
he
I
played for the
remember him.
Dodgers. Casey
Yep.
Blake, Guardian
Yeah.
Dodger.
Nice.
That's got to be what? Oh, point
.1.
something, 0.1.
4.
4%.
Oh my God.
I don't know if there's a lot of connections there, so
Oh my God. Sabotaged.
How is that the highest one so far?
Did
Casey
Punto-
Blake?
Punto did not play for Cleveland, right?
no. Trot Nixon finished, I think, with Cleveland.
Any Twins, though?
Trottily dot.
Any former Twins?
Oh yeah, there's got to be. There's
Matt
gotta be.
Lawton. Matt Lawton didn't play for Boston. He played for Cleveland and the
Oh,
Mets.
Paul Sorrento. Didn't he play for Boston or was it just Cleveland?
Just Cleveland.
Okay.
I don't remember him
with
with Boston at all.
Okay. Can I look
Twins.
up? I won't use him. I'm just curious. I'm gonna look up Paul Sorrento. He's dead now. Not literally, but on this game, he's dead. We can't use him.
Oh my God! I thought you killed Paul
Maybe he is
Sorrento.
dead too. I don't know. I'm just checking.
One
He's
of the
still
Twins.
alive.
One of the worst time trades in Twins history, right there. Paulie
You're right.
Sorrento.
He did not play for Boston.
Okay. Pitchers? Twins pitchers? Aguilera never played for Cleveland.
I'm trying to think of like the random guys they've had.
Frankie Rodriguez never played for Cleveland, right?
I don't think so. Did Willie Banks ever
No.
play for? He was a Cub twin.
Yeah.
Thought he was maybe a Red Sox.
All right. We might not have a twin here.
Yeah. What was our guess for this? What did we?
Otis
We had one
Nixon.
stashed.
Trot Nixon.
Trot Nixon. That's going to be low. Let's just do Trot Nixon.
I'm going to think of a
Keep
twin,
the
though.
keep the train moving here.
Yeah, we should.
1%.
1%.
Nice.
So we're doing pretty well here. The problem is the 20 win category is like
Yeah.
Tough.
it's tough to get low scores on the 20 win category.
Okay, Sutcliffe also won 20 as a Cub in 84, right?
Let's do it. Let's do Sutcliffe. Rick Sutcliffe.
One time. Nope.
Oh
He did
no.
not.
Judd.
Oh,
No.
guys. Oh, no.
Oh, now we got to look it up. What did?
Oh, no.
What happened? He was
I thought he won the Cy Young.
He did not. He won the Cy Young in 83 with Cleveland. He won 18 games in 87 with the Cubs, finished second in Cy Young voting.
Oh, no. Oh,
18 led the league. He did win 20 games with we have a technicality. Oh my
20 games between Cleveland and the Cubs.
He did win 20 games in
Oh,
1984.
This is unfair.
This is kind of BS, actually.
He finished it up as a Cub.
He won. He was 20 and 6. He won the Cy Young Award. It was 84. You're 100% right.
That's BS.
He won 16 games with the Cubs after being traded. 4 games with Cleveland.
When paired with a team, 20 wins must be achieved in a season with that team. When paired with another category.
I should have read the fine print.
We
We didn't read the directions. Son of a. Okay. Well, can we try? Let's look at Wakefield. I mean, Pedro.
Josh Beckett.
One. Josh Beckett. Yeah, he won.
I can't. That's unbelievable.
Let's do Josh Beckett. 2% on Josh Beckett. Oh man, this was headed for a big time score. And then for Dodgers, I mean, did Nomo? I think Nomo did it. Drysdale, Koufax, Fernando Valenzuela.
Let's try Fernando. 9%.
So we had a 23 rarity score without the final square. Oh man, so tough. We'll read the directions next time.
You know what though? The directions suck. He won 16 of 20 games in a 20-win season with his team, and we don't get credit for that. Screw you, Immaculate Grid.
It's said in the directions. Quite frankly, it's.
I don't want to have to read the directions when I think I'm right.
Well, we'll try again next time here. Thanks for hanging out with us on the SKOR North Twin Show, a little Feedback Friday edition. Please click the like button and the subscribe button on the SKOR North YouTube channel. You can help us grow this show that we just relaunched a few months ago. And then a 5-star rating and a positive review on Apple Podcasts also helps us grow this thing. So thank you guys. We'll see you next week.